In Chicago, occasionally we have some really great people flying through town, and MJ and I do another show called, what's it called?
Leading Social Experts with Meet Advisors, yes.
I know. I haven't even gotten to that one yet, but let me just tell you, it's a good show.
It's a great show.
So we were talking about customer service, and we were talking to someone who really knows when it comes to relationship, especially in social media and how to handle things. And we interviewed Ted Rubin, our good friend Ted Rubin. You can follow him even with on our Return on Relationship.
Or just at Ted Rubin on every platform, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's everywhere.
Here's a 2-minute video of Beth interviewing Ted.
Before I had drinks. Hey, it's Beth Rosen here with Leading Social Experts, and I am so fortunate. Look who I just found, Ted Rubin. Welcome, Ted.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here in Chicago, and when I'm here, I love seeing you and MJ. It makes my trip worthwhile.
Awesome. So tell the audience a little bit about who is Ted Rubin and why should people know about you?
Well, I don't really know about the why should they know about me part, but I publish a lot. I'm pretty well known in social circles. I got involved in digital back in 1997 with Seth Godin when he had his startup Yoyodyne, and I was fortunate to be around for a lot of his original thought leadership. And it led me into something that I call Return on Relationship, which is a book I wrote last year and a concept that I preach to companies and individuals all around the country, which is also leading into my next book that's coming out in a couple of weeks called How to Look People in the Eye Digitally.
So you've been very involved with social really since the beginning. You've worked with a lot of companies. Tell us some of the key messages that you talk to people about, especially in your book or when you're out speaking.
Well, my message is that I think relationships are the key to everything. And I like to say that relationships are the new currency. And people often say, well, come on, Ted, relationships have always been the currency. I mean, you know, it's always been, it's not what you know, it's who you know. But the truth is, that's correct, but you couldn't scale that around the clock. You couldn't do that from anywhere. Now, you can build relationships 24/7 without ever leaving your home if you don't want to, as long as you do it right. And what I see is companies and people, in my eyes, using social not to its best advantage. They're using it as an advertising and marketing platform instead of a relationship building platform. And when I mentioned my book earlier, How to Look People in the Eye Digitally, that's about us connecting, me looking at you when I'm talking to you, me noticing that you have a beautiful necklace on, me listening to what you're saying and repeating some of those things back. And people aren't doing that in social. They think clicking a button means making a friend. Facebook's done an incredible thing. They've taken ownership of the word friend. I say that in front of groups of VPs level and above of marketers, and invariably tweets go out saying, did they trademark the word friend? Of course they didn't. They've taken ownership of it the way you do anything in social, is that you use it enough, people attribute it to you. And you know, it got me scared watching my daughters, thinking that people, when they click a button, makes a friend. Didn't scare me because I worry about my daughters, because I don't. It scared me because you and MJ and brand marketers from Fortune 500 companies think that when someone likes their brand, that means they have a relationship with them. It's nothing more than a handshake.
Okay, so don't you love Ted? That was awesome. So we're back here, Chicagonista live at the Lowe's Chicago, and I'm about to tell you the 3 prizes that you can win if you keep tweeting with the hashtag of Chicagonista Live and Lowe's Chicago. So here they are. The first prize is a complimentary premium accommodations for 2 people for 1 weekend, Friday and Saturday. Hello, date getaway.
Yeah.
And then secondly, enjoy complimentary chef's tasting menu like we talked about earlier for 2 people in Rural Society right here at Lowe's Chicago. And then thirdly, 1 complimentary treatment at the spa at Lowe's Chicago. So those
Keep on tweeting.
Tweeting until 3 o'clock. Winner that.
Children,
awesome.
keep tweeting.
Yay, awesome prizes. Keep tweeting, and I'm thrilled to introduce the Director of PR for Lowe's Chicago. This is Stephanie Cheney Casanova. Stephanie, thank you. We have enjoyed our time, obviously, at the hotel. But I really am taken by the design of this place. I never walked in until today. And you have really taken some Chicago cues
Yeah.
in this hotel.
Definitely. I know Chef Corey was just telling you how authentic Royal Society is into Argentina. So take that in Lowe's Chicago, and like every Lowe's brand, we want to be authentically local to the neighborhood we're here. We're thrilled to be in downtown Streeterville, right in the heart of it. We've been open since March 2nd, and we really want you to feel like you're stepping into a Chicago hotel, that you know where you are when you step in. So you'll see it from the minute you walk in, throughout the design, the architecture inspiration, all the way up to the floor views that you might get of the Navy Pier suites and all that good stuff.
I love the artwork. I was showing Meredith earlier. If you'll see, there's an iron bar like going up the wall. It's actually made out of the railroad track.
ties.
It's very Chicago. So little details that mean so much, and I love that part.
We do too. Yeah, and I just want to say we're so thrilled to have our First Lady of Lowe's Chicago. Open it up to the all of Chicagonista live audience.
My byline for the rest of my life. How often do you become a First Lady?
Yeah.
Right?
Her Secret Service is standing right there. It was kind of tough to get, sitting next to her, but
Kind of holding me down more than protecting me. But
Now, I'm excited about the terrace area that you guys are going to open. Tell us a bit about that, because Meredith likes to play.
she is very excited.
And we have this just the place for you. So on June 26th, we're opening up Streeterville Social. It's going to be the city's largest rooftop terrace. It'll be divided into two sections, the Streeterville Social Bistro and the Streeterville Social Terrace. Bistro will be open to lunch, perfect for business lunches. And then come on over to the terrace where we have this huge grassy lawn area where we'll be playing petanque, which is like bocce's French cousin, giant Jenga sets, croquet, and then of course cocktails, summer-inspired cocktails. So it'll be a really fun place to be. Even
so you hear that, Chicago? It's the largest. I mean, patio and those rooftop parties are huge in Chicago. Everyone search it, and now, I mean, this opportunity, and you can even take your kids with all those games in there.
Exactly, and I
love
think
that.
you were just saying we deserve it here in Chicago. The weather hasn't been our friend.
Yeah.
So when the sun finally comes, we'll have a lot of fun at Streeterville Social.
I love how you say that, Meredith. She's like, we've earned it.
We deserve it.
Yeah, our summer's short, so we got to get out and play because we earned this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw a
So
T-shirt
true.
that says "Second City to None." I love that.
That's awesome.
That was a cool one.
We
Here we
are.
are. This is what we need, right?
And I heard your general manager, I overheard him speaking about the misters that you're going to put out on the patio, because Chicago, we go from extreme to extreme.
Yeah.
So it's hot, but you're going to be super cool still.
Yeah, we'll cool you down with the refreshing cocktail. The kitchen will be helmed by Chef Mark Payne, so we'll have a good food set up there, and then of course those drinks and misters to keep you cool on the hot summer Chicago nights.
It sounds great.
And we want to mention, Lowe's is such a great place because they really pay attention. Talk about customer service. Ted Rubin has a great story about when he went to the Lowe's in San Francisco, and Ted, you always tweet me when I mistell the story, and after a couple drinks, I don't know what I'm saying, but the gist of it is that you went and you checked into a Lowe's, and they knew you were a sock guy, and I think they went above and beyond, and they delivered some socks to you, and the Lowe's really made you feel at home. And this Lowe's today has been, right girls, all the ladies here?
I'm curious. I wanted to bring it up. I pulled out something from the Illinois tourism site, and it says 107 million domestic visitors in 2014, and it has beat the record for the last 4 years in a row. And I wanted to see, the impact of having all these new hotels and having Lowe's here for the first time.
Yeah.
How is that for the opening? Can you tell?
It's really great. I mean, Chicago is a destination, not just for tourism and just tourists, but also for groups and meetings and conventions. So we're a 400 guest room hotel. We can accommodate a lot of it, and it's just great how everyone is catching on how great Chicago is.
But you do have convention and meeting space here.
Yes, we do. We have a 9,000 square foot ballrooms, which is good for meeting space or weddings.
Okay.
So it's really multi-purpose, and we can kind of accommodate a lot of different groups.
It's really funny. There's nothing here for the longest time, and no one actually goes through here. I know someone brought it up. It's like, what was here? I'm like, you know what? There was nothing. And now that it is built here, you could actually go outside and play.
Yeah.
For you? Right. I mean, it's just so much stuff to do in this area where there was nothing before. Oh, you just go down Columbus and that was it, basically.
And Lowe's does have a really strong Chicago connection even before it was built here, correct?
That's correct. Yes, we used to run and manage the House of Blues in the Ambassador East and West, and then we also have our O'Hare property, the Chicago O'Hare, which is just about 5 minutes from the airport, but also just steps away from the Rosemont outlet store. So
Oh, I know. That place is dangerous.
it is, but it's literally steps away. So it's another great property that really has that same Chicago kind of heart and feel as the downtown property does.
And going online, and I wanted to bring Meredith in here too, there's so much that the Lowe's offers to people who are coming into town, different types of weekend packages and things that people can do tied into their stay. Tell us a little bit how that works, because then I want to also, Meredith, can also let you know things to do and places to go over the summer. But how does it work with the Lowe's?
So you'll be some of the first to know that we just opened up our newest package just this Monday. It's called Summer Like a Local, where we're actually offering as part of the package 2 tickets to the Chicago Architectural Boat Tour, and then breakfast for 2 for just $25 here at Royal Society.
Children keep tweeting, and I don't mean these people, my own. Thank you.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, which is, I mean, nothing's more Chicago than that architectural boat tour. So, and we're just steps away from the Chicago River here. So it's perfect, and we're excited to get people in and try it out.
Chicago is such a great town, and there's so much to do here. And I know you just recently did a segment. Tell us a little bit about what you found.
Well, I do a segment every month on Windy City Live, and I talk about the things that are coming up. And my beat is really families, since I have to do for families. But also in this book that I'm writing, I talked about, there's a whole section that I'm writing about the importance of playing with your mate and really not going beyond the traditional date nights.
Right.
So, I'm a big proponent of the run away down to our city for an overnight and get away that way. And my husband and I have been doing that for years. He's very happy that I keep saying yes to running away and with him, because it's, it makes you feel like you're so far away. We live on the North Shore. And just for one quick overnight, so we were in that beautiful suite today. So I was thinking, this could be our night.
This is it.
And I love the architectural boat tour. That's always my first recommendation to anybody that's coming here. But also another great date night is something my husband and I did, which was one of their walking tours in a very specific neighborhood. So the Architectural Foundation has them all on their website, and we did one that was just around sort of where all the theaters are, and we learned the history of all the theaters, and then we went and had dinner right by Millennium Park. So that's a great way to tap into them, not just the boat tour, but they have walking tours as well. So I always talk about things to do with your family. I write for Chicago Parent Magazine. It is really the greatest resource. In the back, their calendar is just chock full every single month of things to do with your kids. Tomorrow, I know MJ is going to be there with me as well at the Museum of Science and Industry. Has a new Robot Revolution exhibit, and I'm excited about that because it's for older kids too. There's there's a lot of young things at the museum, so that's another thing to check
Definitely
out.
Definitely a lot of stuff to do here in Chicago, but thank you so much, Stephanie.
Thank you so much. We have obviously enjoyed our time here, and we'll be back.
Yeah, we're thrilled to have every year.
Yes. But again, hashtag Chicagonista Live, hashtag Low Chicago, thank you. And we are going to mention the winners later on. But speaking of more stuff to do in Chicago, I think we have one more guest that we wanted to
couple more guests,
right? And then so we're going to have Jen Luby now. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Luby, come over here.
I